know who we are. You know who we are. We are QPR.
Charlie Austin had two memorable spells at Loftus Road, proving himself to be a great goalscorer in both the Championship and the Premier League. Now, Charlie's career didn't begin like most modern players, coming through an academy route. It was a bit more of a footballing fairy tale. Charlie went from bricklayer to Premier League footballer, from Poole Town to the Premier League, completing an unlikely journey for a player who had almost quit the game.
I was thinking to myself, I don't want to do this no more. I prefer just to go and work Saturday mornings. So I just thought I'd just go and work five and a half days, get more money, then come home, shower and watch Gillette Soccer Saturday. And that was just the way I thought, really.
It was at Poole Town in the 9th tier of English football where he fell back in love with the game.
I had a great bond with the manager, Tom Killick. He was great for me. It was special down there, really. £50 when I went there, then it up to about £80. And I was on a £10 goal bonus, so that helped.
Now that bonus money kept rolling in as he scored 64 goals in 57 games, all whilst working a day job.
The worst was when we played Braden away on a Tuesday night. I'd been up at 6 in the morning to go to work, to come home, get changed, drive to Southampton to get the ferry to the Isle of Wight, play the game. Time I got back to bed, it must have been like 1:15. Mind you, the van was picking me up again at 6 o'clock, so it was madness.
Swindon Town gave Charlie the chance that he thought had escaped him, and he repaid them, scoring 20 goals in his first season and leading them to the League One playoff final. That dream season turned into a bit of a nightmare though, as Swindon lost the final to Millwall 1-0, and Austin had a great chance to take it to extra time.
Austin's headed me the ball and I've gone past him. I'm in one-on-one with the keeper.
Austin!
If it's on target, it's going in.
Big moment here for Swindon! Oh, he's missed it!
It's come up, hit me on the shin. It's gone wide. I just remember looking at a Swindon fan and I can still see the girl there stood at me just staring back at me.
He left Swindon 8 months later, having scored 31 goals in 54 games for them, as he moved to Championship side Burnley. Now the goals continued to flow. He finished his first season a top goal scorer with 16 goals. In October 2012, he scored twice in a 4-3 win over Bristol City, which equalled the club record of scoring in 8 successive games. 2 weeks later, he broke another Burnley record, becoming the quickest ever player to score 20 goals in a season, achieving that in just 17 games. In total, he scored 41 goals in 82 games for them, before agreeing to move to Premier League Hull. But that move fell through after the club claimed he failed a medical. Hull's loss was our gain, and just days before the start of the 2013-14 season, Charlie Austin joined QPR for a fee of around £4 million.
It's not impossible for Charlie Austin to play for England one day. He's a goal scorer.
Sean Dyche told me when I was on my way down to QPR, he said, do not change how you are, what you are, anything about you. And I think I've took that on from Poole Town to Swindon to Burnley without thinking. And then when he told me when I was on the way down here, that's enough for me.
Austin made his debut 2 days after signing, as he come on as a sub in a 2-1 win over Sheffield Wednesday. And a couple of days later, he got his first QPR goal in a League Cup win at Exeter. The goals didn't actually come that easily at first though for Austin. He didn't score in his first 5 starts before we faced Birmingham at home, where this scrappy goal won us the game, and Austin never really looked back again. He was proven to be lethal from the penalty spot. He scored 3 penalties in 3 consecutive matches against Yeovil, Middlesbrough and Barnsley, becoming the first QPR player to score a penalty in 3 consecutive appearances since Terry Venables back in 1969. Austin made it 6 goals in 7 games with this solo effort at Millwall, and he proved to be the difference for us in tight games. He scored this superb goal in a 1-0 win over Charlton. When the team had a bit of a dip over Christmas, it wasn't long before Austin dragged us out of it with a late winner at home to Doncaster.
Because he's launched it right instead, And Phillips controls this beautifully. And what about a delivery here? Round the corner it goes to Simpson. Here's a chance for Rangers. Down that right flank. In comes the cross towards a header and a goal! Headed into the net by Charlie Austin. He's come back from injury and he's won it for QPR in the 3rd minute of stoppage time. Pandemonium inside Loftus Road. What a priceless goal that might be for Queen's Park Rangers. He has won it at the death. QPR 2, Doncaster 1. It's Charlie Austin, the saviour again.
Austin then got this double in a win over Huddersfield.
To Hill. Hill with the ball forward, flicked on by Crancher. Andy Carroll will try and play it down to Austin. Austin goes for a shot. Austin with a strike. And Queen's Park Rangers take the lead. Charlie Austin could not miss from there. Queen's Park Rangers 1, Huddersfield Town 0. Gobbin comes on, and the first thing he will be asked to do is help out in defending this corner. Goban then is on. Last change for Huddersfield Town. And it's headed in. And that is goal number 2 of the afternoon for Charlie Austin. Corner from Asso Akoto. Header from Charlie Austin. 2-1 Queen's Park Rangers against Huddersfield Town.
At home to Bolton, he made it 14 goals for the season, but he picked up a shoulder injury which ruled him out for the next 2 months. Without him, Rangers struggled, and we slipped out of the automatic promotion race. We were hanging on a bit to make the playoffs, to be honest. He made his return as a sub at Bournemouth in April, before scoring this goal in the last minute to secure a place in the playoffs and a win over Watford.
Tozer gets the ball back to the corner taker Abdi, but no, not quite. Barton nicks in and gets it to Hoylett. The break is on. Hoylett, they really are breaking fast here, QPR, and it's Austin. He's got Zamora forward with him. Morrison's there as well. Pokes the ball to Zamora. Back it comes to Austin. Can he finish? Yes! He can! What a goal from Charlie Austin! What a breakout from Queen's Park Rangers! The main man is back! And just in time perhaps for the playoffs.
He finished that season in really good goal-scoring form. He scored against Millwall and Barnsley before that big playoff semi-final at Loftus Road. Rangers had drawn the first leg 0-0 away at Wigan, but we fell behind to a James Perch goal at a packed Loftus Road.
Jordi Gomez will take it up. Persijor. This is McLean. Really good ball in, and the breakthrough comes from James Perch.
As the clock ticked on, Rangers were heading out until Junior Hoylett was brought down for a penalty. Austin had scored 4 times from the spot that season. And in an insanely tense atmosphere, he grabbed the ball, stepped up and took responsibility.
He scored 18 this season, make it a very important number 19. Charlie Austin keeps Queen's Park Rangers season alive. Probably the biggest pressure penalty he's faced in his career, and he coolly slots it home. Well, he never really looked like missing, did he? Junior Hoylett provides the spark, and Charlie Austin provides the composure just to stroll that into the corner, allow Scott Carlton to make his move, and then just took the ball in the other corner. Brilliant penalty.
Back in the game, and the game went to extra time. At the school end, where Paul Furlong had won us a playoff semi-final 11 years earlier, it was now Austin's time to become the hero.
Zamora helps it off for Charlie Austin! All season, Charlie Austin has been the main man. And he might just have bought Queen's Park Rangers a ticket to the biggest game in Championship football. And out of pretty much nothing, well, you can't be surprised that it's Charlie Austin that's grabbed this, what could be killer 3rd goal in the game. It's just really helped on by Bobby Zamora, but Leon Barnett gets caught on his heels. And Charlie Austin gets ahead of him. You cannot afford as a defender to let a goal scorer and Charlie Austin's calibre to get ahead of you. He's on the move, Charlie Austin, great instincts. He doesn't have to power this home, just has to get an all-important first touch on it, guides it home, and it's a quite brilliant finish.
So his 20th goal of the season had secured us a place at Wembley, And, well, we all know how that game went. After Gary O'Neill's red card, Austin played out wide, doing a job for the team. And even though this video is about Charlie Austin, well, any old excuse to look at that goal again.
Give him an option. Those fans, though, seeing their team slowly but surely get further up the pitch and just starting to believe a little bit.
Well, Hoylett's got the better of Buxton. Puts it into an area. Keogh! Zamora! Unbelievable! From the very brink of elimination, Bobby Zamora has surely scored another playoff winner.
So QPR and Charlie Austin were in the Premier League, an incredible achievement for a player who had been in non-league just a couple of years earlier. Now, the start of the Premier League season didn't go that well for Charlie. He missed a penalty on the opening day of the season, and questions were beginning to be raised about whether he could make the step up to the top flight. Once again, he answered those questions emphatically. He scored the winner against Sunderland for our first 3 points of the season, and then scored an incredible goal at Southampton. Now, sadly, due to copyright, I can't really show any of his Premier League goals, but let's just run through them all in what was a brilliant individual season. He grabbed 2 in a 2-0 win over Aston Villa, before scoring an equaliser for Rangers at Chelsea, sending the away end into an absolute frenzy. He got another against reigning champions Manchester City, and that really should have been 2 that night, after he saw 1 goal disallowed over a bizarre incident featuring a 2-touch goal kick. He got the winner against Leicester in a 3-2 thriller, and he got the second goal in a 2-0 win over his old club Burnley, in a match where Austin was also sent off. He returned to the team and scored his first hat-trick for us as we came from 2 goals down to beat West Brom 3-2. Now, the second half of that season saw him continue to score goals against the likes of Arsenal, West Brom, and a consolation on the final day of the season at Leicester. But for all of his incredible efforts, Rangers were relegated. Austin had stood out, though. 18 goals scored in what was a pretty poor side, and those goals earned him a call up to the England squad. But he was an unused sub in a friendly against the Republic of Ireland. Many expected that to be the end of his time at QPR. A hugely popular player who would go on to bigger and better things. But much to everyone's surprise, the new season started and Austin was still at QPR. Less surprisingly, he was still scoring goals as well. 4 goals in the opening 3 games of that season. And as the transfer deadline approached, I remember I was on holiday in Florida queuing for a Harry Potter ride when I saw a tweet pop up from Austin mimicking the Wolf of Wall Street and announcing he wasn't leaving. I cheered in the queue, looking a bit of a weirdo, but this was it. Austin was staying, QPR were going up. Of course, things didn't quite work out like that, and despite Austin scoring 10 goals in 14 games, he picked up a few injuries and the team really struggled without him again. By January 2016, with only a few months left on his contract, QPR agreed to sell him to Southampton for a fee of around £4 million. It was a sad day for QPR fans, but I think we all kind of agreed he deserved a move to the Premier League, and we watched him from afar following his career away from West 12. At Southampton, he scored on his debut in a win at Old Trafford. His spell at St Mary's, though, was plagued with injuries, and he kind of struggled to stay fit, but when he did play, he was always a goal threat. He got 16 goals for them across those 3 seasons. He then moved on to West Brom for a fee, again, of around £4 million. And he helped the Baggies to promotion, where he was top goal scorer with 11 goals. Still, through all that time, I think most QPR fans always looked at him and wondered, would he come back one day? Well, it turned out he would. Back at Loftus Road, we were having a difficult season, struggling at the bottom of the Championship, lacking goals, and it was that weird year where there was no crowds allowed at games. We had to watch the games on streams at home, desperate for some inspiration. That inspiration came with a surprise loan move, which saw Charlie Austin return to QPR until the end of the season. The buzz was back, and there was so much excitement about seeing Charlie Austin in a QPR shirt again. And it was as if he had never been away, as he scored on his second debut in a 2-0 win over Luton, our first win in 9 games. Austin then scored his 50th goal for QPR at Watford to draw us level in the game, which we went on to win 2-1. He made such a difference both on and off the pitch, lifting standards and helping the fans and club believe they could do a lot better. After years of humbling defeats at home to Brentford, Austin gave us a great night, scoring the winner against them before celebrating in front of their bench. Not exactly endearing himself to Brentford fans, but as QPR fans, we absolutely loved it. Rangers moved well clear of relegation, and his 8 goals in 21 appearances that season gave real hope of an exciting future. The frustration had been, though, that we hadn't been there to see it and celebrate with him. Football is just not the same watched on a sofa, so when news came through in May that Austin had signed for QPR on a 2-year deal, fans were ecstatic. They would get a chance to see him play for QPR again in the flesh. As crowds were allowed back into stadiums, we roared with delight as Austin scored in a 4-3 pre-season win over Manchester United. He scored again in a 3-3 draw with Leicester, and hopes were high of another promotion-winning season. And it started pretty well, to be honest. We were unbeaten in our first 6 games, with Austin scoring this late goal to earn us a draw. In the League Cup against Everton, he rolled back the years with a vintage performance. He scored these 2 goals in the first half in an entertaining 2-2 draw. When the game went to penalties, Austin was the man you wanted taking one, and he scored as Rangers beat their Premier League opponents. Now, Austin never quite reached his best form that season. He was still a big player for us, though, and against his former side West Brom, he scored an unforgettable late winner to send the stadium into an absolute frenzy. We slipped out of the playoff race, and it was announced before our final home game that Austin was being released at the end of the season. It led to an emotional appearance on the Open All R's QPR podcast, where Austin voiced his frustration at leaving and showed how much love he felt for the club. It wasn't just on the pitch where he excelled for QPR. He helped raise money for a young QPR fan who was fighting a brain tumour. The work both Charlie and his wife put into raising money and awareness of the condition showed the kind of man he is and the love he had for the club. After leaving Rangers, he had spells with Australia, back at Swindon, and he's now back playing in non-league at AFC Tottenham. But his time at QPR remains the best of his career. Just looking at the numbers, he made a total of 148 appearances for QPR and he scored 63 goals. He sits 24th in the all-time top goal scorer list at QPR, ahead of the likes of Paul Furlong, Les Allen, Simon Stainrod and Roy Wegerle. His 10 penalties that he scored is the joint 8th highest number of penalties scored by a QPR player, just below the likes of Jerry Francis, Stan Bowles and Terry Venables. He scored 1 hat-trick. He scored twice on 7 different occasions, and he had a total of 19 assists, whilst also winning man of the match at the Great Loft for Words website on 14 different occasions. 42 of his goals came at Loftus Road and 21 away from home. He scored 18 goals in the top flight, the same number as Clive Allen and Kevin Gallen scored at QPR. In the Championship, he scored 42 goals for QPR. Only 3 players have scored more goals in the second tier: Albert Adenall, Clive Allen and Rodney Marsh. His favourite opponents were Barnsley and West Brom. He scored 5 times against both of those. Now, Charlie Austin goes down as one of our most popular players and one of, if not the best forward we've seen at Loftus Road in the modern era. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give us a like and subscribe to the channel.